As inflation keeps driving prices up, the value guitar from established brand is seemingly becoming a thing of the past, but there still are some good prices out there and from established companies. And in this video we're going to take a look at the LTD EC-256, which is pretty much the lowest tier they currently have for a single cut guitar. First, let's get some specs out of the way. For construction, we have a set neck, we have a 24 3/4 inch scale length, mahogany body, mahogany neck, roasted Jatoba fretboard with a 350mm radius, about 12 inches, give or take. This one is in a lemon burst finish with a 42mm nut width, a thin U neck contour, 22 extra jumbo frets, chrome hardware, standard strap buttons, LTD tuners, LTD Tune-o-matic bridge and tailpiece, and the ESP LH-150 neck and 150 bridge pickups. It has two volumes and a tone control and a toggle switch. The EC-256 series comes in gloss and satin black, purple burst, cobalt blue, dark brown burst, vintage natural, and snow white. And as of 2024, there's also candy apple red satin and a satin aged gold. I think that might be it. I bought this guitar when I was originally going to look at an Epiphone 1959 Les Paul Standard in lemon drop finish. The finish was something I'd been wanting, and having already owned and reviewed one in cherry burst, I knew that was a decent guitar. The flame maple veneer was awful though. Basically looked like a dull yellow guitar. And I was disappointed. Epiphone has been kind of missing the mark with me on their flame maple veneers lately, and this one was probably one of the worst I'd seen. But I saw this LTD EC-256 and it looked incredible. I played it for a little bit and it felt like my other LTDs for the most part, so I figured the on-sale price of $499 US, why not? Now mind you, normally these retail for $599 US. The guitar is decent. It's a solid beginner guitar and definitely a great mod platform if you can get them for a decent price. The biggest issue I had when I got it home was fret sprout. It wasn't like playing a cheese grater, but it still needed addressed. I took the strings off and cleaned up the frets, and side note, if you're going to buy lower end guitars, and hell even mid to lower high end guitars, you should probably learn how to dress your own frets because it's worth it. And buy the proper tools, don't cheap out on Amazon. I'd originally planned to rip the guts out and put in pickups of my choosing, but I left it alone for the time being because I wasn't sure what pickups I wanted to go with. I didn't need another active single cut guitar after all. So the guitar sat largely forgotten. I had other projects to work on. I picked it up and played it a bit, and found it actually worked really well for some music I was working on. I ended up recording a whole album with it and a Riff I Love video and cover for Mayhem's Freezing Moon. The pickups aren't great, and the output isn't real hot, but it's serviceable. I got what I needed out of it, but I still plan on changing out the pickups for something like a Seymour Duncan Black Winter set. Construction-wise, the guitar is solid. There's nothing in the way of flaws with construction or finish. The lemon drop front and the darker back look great together, and the flame maple veneer is stupid good for a guitar this price. Epiphone could really learn a thing or two from LTD on this front because their flame maple veneers on the newer guitars just don't look great for the most part. But LTD, no matter the price point, generally has consistently good looking guitars when it comes to their veneers. The hardware is passable, but players that like to tinker will probably want to swap the bridge out and tailpiece out for a Tone Pros or another brand of their choosing. The tuners hold well enough, but again, might want to change it out for something that's more your preference. The nut works. May eventually want to change it out for a Graph Tech, but all in all, for what I paid, I'm pretty happy with the guitar how it is. There is room for improvement, of course, but it functions as a guitar should. I would probably use it as a backup guitar live in its current form, but at the very least I'd change the pickups before it would be a mainstay in my regular rotation of guitars. I got great results with it for what I used it for, but I wasn't using it for crisp, finely produced modern metal. There are cheaper guitars you can start out on, or buy as a modding platform, but as far as functionality goes, you might pay a little more for one of these than you would another guitar, but the construction's solid, and after addressing the fret sprout on this guitar, it plays just as good as my more expensive 1000 series LTDs. As far as feel goes, it really comes down to hardware and electronics being the key difference between the LTD EC-256 and the EC-1000 or a 600 series signature guitar. The thinner body may not be for everybody, and some people might love the thinner body. I can go either way. I don't mind that it's a little bit slimmer, but I would prefer a beefier guitar. But for what I was looking for, this guitar provided. And with the recent release of the new line, or the new 256 colors, I gotta say the satin candy apple red one's pretty tempting. But for now, I am content. So, if you have an LTD EC-256, what do you think of it? What modifications, if any, did you make to it? Let me know in the comments below and we'll go from there. And like always, guys, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch, and we'll see you in the next one.